Another tough night at the office for the Toronto Raptors as they fall to the Detroit Pistons, 118-104. That's 3 straight L's for the Raps as their record drops to 18-29 on the season. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Raptors Night Cap. Randy Urban alongside Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, and Leo Rautins. And guys, another tough game for the Raps. My question is going to be for each of you. What's the most glaring issue you saw tonight? Leo, and I'll start with you.
Well, I don't know if it's one issue right now. It's, that's kind of simplifying the whole situation. But outside of the basketball issues are, defensive rebounding, right? Those are big issues. But, I said it during the game. I'm going to say it again. You got to have healthy bodies and you got to have strong bodies. And I think part of the reason the Raptors are fraying and part of the reason their confidence isn't what it needs to be is you don't have the bodies. And it's not an excuse, but you have, okay, Pascal says you lost 10 to 15 pounds. Okay, I'm gonna challenge everybody at home, go get pneumonia, go lose 10 to 15 pounds and just come back out and go run a mile. Okay, see how you feel. Okay, so you got 3 players that were out for around 20 days, COVID protocol. And now you got 2 more players out. You're bringing a couple of new players in. Hey, this is the NBA, man. It's hard. It's hard to win. And aside from the technical things, like I said, rebounding, defenses, you need healthy bodies. And if you have healthy bodies, you're going to have confident players. And right now they don't have that.
I would look at to not jump on Leo's point, but that's one of them. And then the guys on the floor, I think defensively right now, Randy, they're having a real problem keeping people in front of them, keeping other teams out of their paint, which leads to drive and kicks, drive, kick, swing, rotations, rebounding. There's Matty Devlin saying goodbye, rebounding issues, and then when you get those offensive blackout periods and your defense can't hold you in the game, it's not enough to try and rely on your offense to keep you in the game because you're not scoring. So that's something that, I looked at tonight. I mean, at one point, Detroit had more than half their field goals were from behind the arc, and almost all of those were assisted. So you don't have healthy bodies, can't play the good defense. And then, I see scrambling on offense, a lot of one-on-one trying to get it back and by good players. But at the same time, you start into that downward spiral and then it hits the confidence too.
First of all, Leo, no one's going to take you up on that offer to go get pneumonia and then go run a mile. It's not going to happen. But I will say this, the technical stuff we can all see. The defensive rebounding, the inability to get good looks. We see that. But to me, the interesting thing in this game was this was one of the first games that I felt like that fighting spirit wasn't there. It didn't feel like that Raptor team that was going to scramble and that was going to rally at the end. This game seemed over pretty early. Even though, it was a fluctuating 15-point lead at times, it just never seemed like the Raptors had that, whatever it is, that oomph to get themselves into the game again. And that's a difficult thing to swallow if you're the Raptors, because that's basically what's given you a chance to win some games over the course of this time. And right now, in this game specifically, I don't think I felt it like I felt it in other games. And I hope it's just a one-game situation and it's not something that bleeds into anything else. But that's part of the Raptors and their DNA in terms of what gives them a chance to get back in games when things look bleak. So they need to get back to that very quickly.
One of the things I think you can manufacture in these moments is energy, insofar as I'm seeing a lot of guys, whether they grab an offensive rebound or grab their own miss, instead of going up and trying to initiate some contact and put it up at the rim and perhaps drawing off an and one or a big play like that, there's a lot of just, oh, I missed that, let me kick it out and let someone take a 3. And for me, like, the game can change so quickly with an and one or a possession like that, where you just try to attack the rim, body the guy, lay it up. Jonesy, you had your hand up. What were you
Yeah,
going to say?
you know, Randall, I totally agree with you. But as Sherm talked to address the spirit tonight, you know, there's an infectious quality on both sides. When things are going good and you're moving the ball and you're swinging around and guys are knocking down shots and everybody's got their arm up on the bench, that's good. It's when you're down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens. You get an offensive rebound. It's like, this isn't quite, you know what? Let me kick it out. Maybe somebody else can make a shot. And some of the negative stuff can be infectious too. It can, you know, as Sherm talked about the spirit, you know, Leo talked about the health, the old adage, you know, fatigue makes cowards of us all. Let me just kick this out. Maybe somebody else can do it. And there's that, I wouldn't say waning confidence, but maybe just eroding slightly. And those are things that are the mental side of the game that you're fighting too when you're in a slump. Are you shooting to make, or you're shooting just because that's the shot that needs to be taken? And I think that the team, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but as these two guys have said, I think they're fighting some of that right now too.
I agree, Jonesy. And again, remember when they were 2-8? What were we saying? Hey, don't play for fouls, play to score, and then you'll get fouls, right?
Right.
All the same things we're saying now, all right, we were saying then. And that's a team that didn't have a lot of confidence. You have guys who were playing, they were shaky, guys that weren't in the conditioning they need to be. And that's the impact that it has, right? And so, and you had some new guys in the mix, the whole bit. Then all of a sudden, you know, you're pretty whole, right? You've got everybody pretty much back and playing. New guys have been there. They had some time together. They've worked it all out. Conditioning's better, and you play 500 basketball. And then as soon as that goes out the window again with COVID protocol and this and that, next thing you know, you're right back to square one. And you're absolutely right. It has a definite impact on your psyche, and it becomes more and more difficult to combat when you just can't get out of it. And
Got to get
somehow
one.
they got to get one. And you got to get all your bodies back. You got to get healthy, and then you got to get one. Then you got to get two. And it's it's not as easy as people think, and it's not an excuse. It's reality.
Well, Leo, you mentioned off the top, you know, your three keys were rebounding, and rebounding. You know, they lost the rebounding edge today. It wasn't a huge disparity, but 44-38 is enough for sure. But Sherm, the bench points was a way bigger disparity. This is a difficult question to ask, or answer, but how do you get more from the bench?
I mean, Nick Nurse he's searching for combinations.
Yeah.
He's searching to find bodies that can get out there and help. And he's giving people opportunities. And, you know, obviously a guy like Rodney Hood, who's just coming over, it's going to take a minute to acclimate himself to the play calling and how the Raptors run their stuff and where he's going to get his shots from. But Nick has tried this bench. Nick has tried to give these guys opportunities from the bench. And especially during that stretch where the starters were out of the lineup due to COVID, nobody really took advantage of that. And that's something that doesn't create confidence in your coaching staff when guys don't get in there. So, you know, the easy answer is guys got to play better. They've got to take advantage of the opportunity. The reality is guys haven't played better and guys haven't taken advantage of the opportunity. So now Nick is just trying to plug somebody in and hopefully something gets going. And it's difficult to get it going. And, you know, a guy like Paul Watson, who is starting to move in the right direction and starting to show some consistency in his play, he's out of the lineup. Maybe he's one of the guys that could have helped you. And, you know, DeAndre Benberry, whether Nick would have started him or kept him coming off the bench, he was a guy that Nick created confidence for, and he played well at times for the Raptors. So a lot of moving parts, but guys just have to take advantage of the opportunity and play better basketball.
And to jump on that, Randy, and it goes back to what Leo started this with, healthy bodies. Some of those guys would be getting the time. Like, it would be nice to have Paul Watson and DeAndre Benberry tonight. It would have been nice to have them to, as Sherm says, try another combination, shuffle it up, put some other guys in, but you don't have those bodies. And then
Jones, even when Watanabe, remember, he was playing better and better and better. Then what happened? He got his ankle, and he's out. So it's hit everybody. Nick Nurse said before the game, you know, things happen in bunches. We've had a lot of bunches.
You know, the other part of that too, Randall, is when you have guys out of the lineup, your bench guys that are the next man up go into the lineup. And then, as Sherm said, the guys at the bottom part of the bench, the guys they have to come in and do their job. They have to grab the, carpe diem. They have to seize the day, seize the opportunity. And if it's not there or it doesn't happen, now Nick is turning to Sergio, and Adrian Griffin is like, okay, well, what do you think? Who do we go with? And it makes it difficult, and it makes for some difficult decisions.
Leo, I think though one of the bright spots, just looking at them, if we could just go a positive here to close the show, was OG Anunoby's play. He hasn't really missed a beat since he's been back. And I honestly, there's something different about his handle too when he's attacking. It's tighter. It seems to get better as the season goes on. And that's certainly a plus for this team going forward and into the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Well, it's a plus, but I will say this, OG's got to realize his value.
Mm-hmm.
And how did he start the game out against Portland? What was he doing? Attacking, driving, being forceful. All right. We didn't see that until the second half of this game. All right. And it was late. The game is pretty much over. OG's got to realize that when things aren't going right, he's got to be one of the guys that can change it, because he can change it at both ends of the floor. It's not just knocking down a three. It's playing with that force, right? And that can be contagious. And we've seen every game against a top-tier team, we've seen that from him. So that has to come in games like this, maybe even more so, because, again, it sets the tone for everybody else.
All right, guys, got to stop you there. Great stuff as always. And Leo, I still think we could send you down there as a confidence stick or something. I don't know. I'm trying my best here, guys. I'm trying my best.
No, stop trying.
Randall, you got to play better, man. You got to play better.
I know. I got at least draw some fouls.
Hey, what did Jonesy say? Carpe diem, man. Seize the day, brother.
You got to play better, man.
All right. See you next game Wednesday night against the Thunder, 8 p.m. See you then.
Thanks for watching. You can click to watch our last episode or to subscribe to the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode.